We may have just witnessed the changing of the guard, restoring power back to the man. I'll break down what I'm talking about after all this. This is Uneducated Sports Talk. Let's go.
To the right hand, being caught. Oh, intercepted by Michael. Oh, no! Intercepted by Cincinnati. Start loading. It looks up to that. The place start loading and the Ava. Oh, no! Keith Lee. Oh, a double team. Come on, PJ. Forrest, one. Oh, PJ fell out. 2, 3 strikes. So I get up, PJ. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
This is Uneducated Sports Talk. Stay smart, stay uneducated.
Welcome all sports fans, everyone across the nation. This is another episode of Uneducated Sports Talk. I am your host, Carlos Clayton, and we're here to break down the changing of the guard, in my opinion, when it comes down to the Luka Doncic, Anthony Davis trade. That's right, breaking news if you're living under a rock. As of maybe, was it Sunday morning, per se, which was like a day and change ago, whatever. Luka Doncic was traded to the Los Angeles Lakers for Anthony Davis, who's going to be a Dallas Maverick. And that's a shell shocker. It was like, yo, whoa. This trade just never happens. But when you dig deep down in this trade, you realize, man, there were some factors that make you think, maybe Nico Harrison isn't that crazy, right? And I always sit back and say, let me play GM or owner. What if I were an owner? What if I were GM? I tell you what, I'm a little bit hardcore. I'm not opposed to letting the players run the organization. I'm more of, we all have a role to play, but I'm also thinking, what if I were a player? Then I would kind of want to run my future, run, my deals as life goes on. But that's another story here, because we're going to break down Nico Harrison and the reason why they decided to go ahead and let go of Luka Doncic. Now, back in the day, it was all about the players. When I say back in the day, ever since LeBron James went to Miami and he restored balance back to the players, and that's a great thing for the players. I'm not mad at anyone for getting their money. Get your money, young man, get your money. I don't care who get it, because just as quick as owners can trade you in a heartbeat, it's not a shame for players to dictate where they want to go. But if you're an owner and you're seeing arguably top 3 or 4 or 5 player in the game, which is Luka Doncic, he gets traded without him dictating what or where or when or how or even why, right? Because I always said this, and many experts said the same thing. Only one team knows Luka Doncic better than anybody, and that is the Dallas Mavericks. They had been that guy since they drafted him in 2018. And he was supposed to be the next big thing. Let's not get it twisted. Dude's a killer on offense. One of the best, if not the best start for a player when it comes down to the offensive end. But I've always said this, though. I have a low tolerance for tyranny, a low tolerance for laziness, a low tolerance for I'm better than everyone and you can't tell me what to do. Because I don't care who you are, anyone can get better. Why do you think LeBron James is here year 22? Right? Because every single year he got better at something. He propelled himself at something. That's why he takes great care of his body. Yada, yada, yada. He has lived that longevity. But he's got 4 championships in 22 years, but still 4 championships. You got Luka Doncic, still only 7 years in the league, 0 championships. He did take his team to the NBA Finals. But there's also a price that comes with that. And for folks that are saying, well, he took his team to the NBA Finals, Carlos. He even took his team to a Western Conference Finals a couple of years ago. Give the man some slack. On top of that, I will. But when you're great, you're great. But there are levels of greatness, right? There's levels of greatness. At the end of the day, There's living in infamy like Michael Jordan, like LeBron James. I would hope that Luka wants to be mentioned in that category when it's all said and done, because there's also greatness like Charles Barkley, Karl Malone, Pat Ewing. What am I saying? Those last three guys, no championships. And if Luka continues this trend, he will find himself with zero, zero championships, you guys. And what am I saying when I break all this down? It's like this. Yes, he is a master offensive weapon. There's no doubt about that. But he is also a massive defensive liability. They made it to the NBA Finals, but like I said in our last stream, and don't forget, y'all, please hit that like button and subscribe, and check out our last video. We talked about the Luka Doncic and AD trade in full. So please go back to that and check it out if you haven't. But and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button on our road to 3,000 subscribers. That being said, Luka is a massive liability on defense, and we saw the Boston Celtics play that game. Who is Luka guarding? Okay, give him the basketball. Let's go to work. And if your best player is also your worst defensive player, that's not ever going to work. Why is that? It's all on Luka Doncic to get better. And the Dallas Mavericks and Nico Harrison say, you know what? The kid is not getting better in that particular aspect, right? Have we seen the best? For those saying, yo, his offensive prowess is crazy. Do you realize the man has not played he's played over 70 games one time in his career? That means he's played in 69 or lower games. 6 of his 7 years. The man has not even played a full 82. And that is his fault, because he cannot get in shape or he cannot stay in shape. Let's just keep that real. And I've always said the best ability is availability. And people say, oh, well, Carlos, it doesn't make that big of a difference. You missed 13, 14, 15, 20 games in the season, right? It does. Because it makes the challenge in the playoffs that more difficult. Think about the Mavericks right now. They were what, the third or I'm sorry, they were like the sixth seed. Yes, you won a lot of those series, and kudos to you. Whatever you were, the sixth or the fifth seed or whatever, something like that. But you had to go on the road. It makes life a lot more difficult, a lot more hard. And yes, they made it through the Western Conference, but when they got to face a Boston team going down 2-0, because you missed a lot of those games. And guess what? When you miss those games as a star player, your team isn't the same usually. Usually your team is not the same. And they lost a lot of games because there is no Luka Doncic threat. Even today's season, he's only played in 22 games, I think, right? They're about to be hit the 50 game mark now. Think about that. And he's only 25 years old. If he stays doing the same things, by the time he's 28, 30, 32, you'll start missing 40 games. You'll start missing 50 games, right? Those injuries just don't come like that. And that is where Nico Harris said, you know what? If I'm looking into the future, if I'm reading this, one, he has bad body language. Two, he doesn't want to stay in shape, or he doesn't want to get in shape. That's not good as a leader. Three, yes, his offense is off the charts, but his defense is bad. Bad, 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 bad. It's horrible. What do we do about that? Do we want to give this guy 5 years, $350 million extension? Y'all, that is $70 million per year for a guy that's 25 and can't stay in shape. He's 25 and can't stay in shape. Imagine if he was 30. It only gets worse if his mentality stays the same. That is all Nico Harris is saying. I like that thought process. I'm thinking the same way, bro. Like, if I want to build this team, think about this. If I can read into the future and I see we play 5, 6, 7 more years with Luka, and he still has great numbers, but we don't win any championships, then what's the point of even having him? And right now, they're saying if we can read into the future, we're looking at our future. Can we win an NBA championship with this guy and his mentality? Because you can win it with Luka. the player, but can you win it with the mentality of Luka Doncic? I don't think so. I applaud Nico Harrison, a round of applause, for standing up and even going to the press conference and say, yo, stand on business. Stand on business. I'm not going to slander that man, but I'm going to say there's guys that are part of the culture, the guys that, whatever, bring the culture. I forgot what he said. But anyways, he stood on business, and he basically said the guys that are coming in, they are a part of the culture. AD and them, they fit what they want. Luka is a special talent. Now, here's what I'm talking about when I say changing of the guard. They did all this. Nico Harrison and Rob Palenko, shout out to those two guys. They win it and they were hush hush. No one knew about it at all except those two guys for the most part. And you could tell with this kind of deal, this isn't a I'm drunk as hell. Let me call somebody 1 to 5 minutes. Hey, we're trading, old boy. You want them? No, this is one of those deals where, man, it went back and forth for maybe a couple of weeks now. And it was crazy because Dallas, they went to Los Angeles and said, hey, we got the perfect guy for you and your franchise because everybody else is going to want to kind of nitpick and wonder what's going on. You know, the LA Lakers were starving for a superstar and didn't really give a damn who it was. They got Luka Doncic. I get that. Chain of the guard. Still on that topic. They went about business and didn't allow the players to dictate what was going on. For the first time, LeBron James wasn't part of something centering the Los Angeles Lakers anymore. Bro, we gave you AD. You know, we gave you a lot of players. We gave you 4 or 5 coaches. We gave you your son. What has it done for us? One championship in 7 years? We didn't bargain for that. Now it is time for us to move on because what they don't want is LeBron James to say, "Toodles, I'm out. No, I'm out," and leave our team hanging out to dry. Lakers aren't crazy. They're born at night, but probably not last night. How about that? They said we gotta get this guy Luka. So now on for the next 10, 15 years, everything they do is about Luka. It's not about LeBron James anymore. And I applaud the for that. Because now you're saying we're not going to let these players dictate it. The Dallas Mavericks, they didn't say, Luka, come on now, help us out where you want to go because we don't want you. No, 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 no. We're going to trade you. That's it. And they didn't even let him know he was being traded until he was traded. That brings a smile to my face because I'm tired of these players being babies, honestly. You get paid a lot of money, and most of them, not all of them, but most of them, the ones that can dictate, they're getting paid a lot of money. But they're crying about it and whining about it and doing a huge disservice to the NBA fans, right? To the NBA fans. That brings me to my next subject with Joel Embiid. He's next. If Philadelphia ownership seen anything, they're like, you know what? We got it about Joel Embiid as well. There was a crazy stat. The man is, 866 games. At one point, he played in 466. He missed 400 games. And he's getting paid how much? Oh, hell nah. It's time for us to say, to hell with this. And this isn't like a scenario where it's a bad market and he's trying to get himself out of it, right? I can see Zion being like, it's New Orleans. Let me go to a bigger market so I can really get my shine on. New York, per se. Okay, no, 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 no. This is Dallas and Philadelphia. These aren't small markets. This isn't a cultural thing, right, where I'm living at, geographic thing. This isn't us living in, I don't know, let's say if Anthony Edwards was tired of living in Minnesota, I wouldn't blame him. But we're talking about Dallas and Philadelphia. These are two of the bigger markets out there in the NBA. Is that these players have just gotten spoiled rotten. And I think ownership or GM, like Nico Harrison, they say, we are done. We're done with trying to coddle these guys. If you don't want to perform at the level that we expect you to perform at, you're getting traded. We'll move on from you. We don't care. Hopefully for Luka, that's a slap in the face. And hopefully he takes it like a man and say, you know what? I need to look in the mirror and change the way I play. change the way I eat, the way I diet, the way I work out in the off season. I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying. Joel Embiid, same for you, brother, because you are next. If I'm the Philadelphia 76 owner, first of all, I couldn't be it. I would have been traded Joel Embiid. I'm sorry for as talented as you are, and as far as great that you are, you do not move the needle when it comes down to winning a championship. That is all about. Can Luka, can Embiid, can they move the needle to win a championship? Not just get there, but to win it. And right now, they do not move that needle. And I'm not surprised if anything happens via trade with Joel Embiid or guys like him. The fact that you get paid all this money and for the slightest of injuries, you sit out for a long period. That is a disservice to NBA fans. We came to see superstars play. You got to make sure you're available to play by doing what's necessary in your regimen, in your workouts, in your off-season programs. Luka doesn't do that. Dallas Mavericks saw that. They say, you know what, you're just being quote unquote disobedient to your body. That's all it is. And if you're going to do that at the age of 22 and 24 and 25, 26, if we give you 5+ years on your contract extension, that's another 7, 8 years you're with us. Now you're 33, doing the same thing, and we've got nothing to show for it. 0 championships. 0. That is all I'm saying. These GMs, these owners, they're starting to change the guard now. They say, you know what? It's time that we take back and what we do with our superstars. This isn't for your every man or every player kind of. This is for superstars only or all stars. We dictate where we want to do with our franchise, not you anymore. And as a player, I'm like, damn. But as an owner, I'm like, hey, good for y'all. Because, it is what it is. Yo, let me know. How do you feel about the Luka Doncic trade? Do you think that ownership is now going to take over that aspect of the NBA? Let us know in the comments down below. Please, before you go, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Come join UST Nation. All sports fans, I love you guys. Have a blessed night, and you know what time it is. Stay smart. Stay uneducated. Peace. Lady mama, love you guys well. Have a blessed rest of your night. We're out.